Everyone, happy Monday and happy November. Let's go ahead and let's talk about what our jobs are for today. So first things first, you are on the class website. You're going to come over to your assignments tab. It is the week of November 2nd and it is Monday. And you're going to scroll down and you're going to see your jobs for today. So let's go ahead, let's just jump right into what our schedule is going to look like. So first things first, we have our morning work. This week we are going to be talking about irregular verbs. And so these past couple weeks we've been talking about irregular parts of speech. And so now we're going to be looking at irregular verbs. Sometimes when we change verbs from present tense to past tense, they don't follow usual patterns. Usually we just end with an ed, but that doesn't always work. And so we're going to talk about some rules and some verbs that are irregular. And so right here is going to be a super duper awesome video that goes really in depth about talking about some irregular verbs. And I mean, you can see right here how it has the word talk, and talk follows a regular pattern. It just ends with the ed. But you can see over here run. We don't say runned, we said ran. And so this is going to be really a great video, informative. That's the word I was looking for. It's really informative and will give you everything you need to be successful. And so you're going to go to slide number 2. I have a couple of friends who keep forgetting about this job. This job is always here. It's here every single week, every Monday. It's going to ask, what are blank? Or what is blank? And so right here it says, what are irregular verbs? After you watch that video, I want you in your own words to tell me what irregular verbs are. So you're going to fill out this portion. Then you're going to see there's all these boxes down here. You are changing the verbs from present tense, meaning they're right now present tense, to past tense. And remember, these are irregular. So I should not see where it says fight. I should not see fighted, right? That's not correct. Or grow, I should not see growed. Tell, telled. No, that's not correct. So you need to make sure you watch that video, as well as use the information that you know to help you create these verbs from present tense to past tense. And you can see that you were given some examples. Eat changes to ate, not eated, ate. And then sing, instead of singed, it changes to sung. So just keep that in mind while you are going through this assignment this morning. Then you have your daily journal prompt. It is Make Believe Monday, and I'm really excited for this one. This one's going to be interesting. And so in your journal, you're going to write a story that begins with a scream. And you can get really creative with this one. So I'm really eager to see what you guys write. You can, always turn it into a funny story, something, wasn't really scary at all. Just make sure that at the end of the day, whatever you're writing is school appropriate. But yeah, you're going to be writing a story that begins with a scream. So you're going to really have a great opportunity to start with an interesting lead with some dialogue. That would be awesome. So I'm excited to read those. Then we have our Zoom at 9 o'clock. Please come on time, ready to learn. We are going to be talking about multiples of 10, and we'll also review some of the multiplication that we have previously learned. So keep that in mind. Then you are going to see at 10 o'clock, we are going to hop off Zoom. You are going to begin your IB Explorer research. And so I'm going to come over here where this IB logo is and select on it. Now please listen to my directions because, again, I'm going to give you some very important information regarding this assignment. So we are going to be doing a research project on explorers. And on this first slide, you can see that you are given a list. It's taken a second to load, but you're given a list of explorers to choose from. And we're only choosing from this list, so just keep that in mind. And so you are going to go through and you're going to decide, hey, Valentina, that seems very interesting. I think I might want to research about them, or Sacagawea, or James Cook, And I would definitely recommend going and researching them a little bit. Not going too in depth, but if I'm like, hey, she seems pretty interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in some information about her. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to Valentina, and I want to make sure that I spell her name right. Tereshkova, and I'm going to say 3rd grade, so that way, again, I'm making sure it's appropriate information. And, remember we've talked about Britannica has a really great website, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look to see what they have. Okay, so she's a Soviet astronaut, or it says cosmonaut. Interesting. That's the first time I've heard that. And she's the first woman to travel into space. That is really, really cool. And so I already know that I definitely want to research about her. And so if I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to look briefly, see more information that I can find, and then if this is the one that I choose, I'm going to come back to slide 1 and again verify, yep, that's who I want to talk about. I'm going to then come down here and it says what explorer did you pick. I'm going to go ahead, erase, and I will type in her name. Then it will say why did you pick that explorer. You must provide a reason why you picked that explorer. I do not want to see. I thought they were cool. Why did you think they were cool? So give me a good reason. For example, Valentina, I knew that if I had the opportunity, I would want to research about her because I find that so incredibly powerful and inspiring that she was the first woman to be in space. That is not an easy task to be the first of anything, and so I think that's really awesome, and so that's what I would type as my reason. And so just make sure that you're really specific about why you chose that explorer. And again, we are going to be researching about these people, so really make sure that you are happy with your choice. You really get a lot of choice here, so make sure that you are happy with your choice because you're stuck with them after today. So keep that in mind. And then, after you've completed that, you are going to have a break. You deserve it. It's Monday morning. We're all still just kind of recovering from the weekend. And so, give yourself that break. Your brain does deserve it. And afterwards, you are going to have your prefix and suffix practice. So, you're going to go ahead and click the YouTube icon. And you are going to practice. It makes me so happy seeing how many of you are practicing. It's so awesome because I can already tell that it's really helping some of my friends with their reading skills, and that's just really exciting. So I'm very proud of you guys for sticking with it and keep practicing. And then after that, you are going to see that you have a story from phonograph to playlist plus summary. So you're going to go ahead and press the orange book. And you're going to see, again, you have a rubric here, and that's going to be for your summary. And so you can always use that as a resource. If you're like, hey, I really want to make sure I get all 100% on this assignment, use the rubric. And so you're going to see this is, again, going to be a longer story because we're building up your stamina, meaning we're building up your ability to read more and more, as well as comprehend more information. And so we're building up that stamina. So we started out with reading 2 pages at a time, to 4, to 6, and now we are reading 8 pages at a time. I definitely recommend, there's a section right here where it says type notes here. You do not have to, but I would, because it's really helpful. So after I listen to this first page, I'm going to write some notes. Your notes don't have to be complete sentences. They can just be a couple of words that help you remember what you just read. Because when you go through, you need to pick out the most important information, main ideas and key details, to then type a summary. And it should be 5 sentences. It should not be more than 5 sentences. It really should only be 5 sentences because the summary is meant to be brief, which means short. So keep that in mind, please. Then after you do that, you have your personal narrative. The final draft is due today, 11:59. You need to get it in. 4 to 5 paragraphs. Do not forget to have all these tips on the side to help you be successful. And so yeah, so just make sure that you finish this up if you have not already. Make sure you have your title. Make sure you have all 4 to 5 paragraphs. Make sure you have your dialogue included using quotation marks. You indented your paragraphs. All of that is going to be part of the grading, so make sure that you really took your time with it. And then you have lunch. Take a lunch break. You deserve it. We're all going to be hungry by that point. And then we are going to have our multiplying with multiples of 10 activities. So I'm going to press the math symbols. Then you're going to go ahead and click here. You can see it on this front. It gives you the directions as well. So if you're like, I watched the morning message and I couldn't remember exactly what we're supposed to do for math, it's right here as well. So you can always go ahead and check that out as well. But you're going to go ahead, you are going to start on slide 1. There is a total of 5 slides. Wanted to make sure. It's a total of 5 slides. And so what you're going to do is on this first slide, the directions are kind of here on the side. I know it's hard when the directions are over here on the side, so I do apologize for that, but we're just going to be flexible about it. And so it says use the yellow rectangle to highlight all multiples of 10. And so you're going to go through and you are going to highlight multiples of 10. If I thought 3 was multiple of 10, it's not. I would go ahead and I would put it over the 3. If I thought, 10 was a multiple of 10, I would go ahead and highlight the 10. And so you're going to go through all the way through and highlight all the multiples of 10. So keep that in mind. And then you're going to see over here, it's going to ask you to type 3 ideas you have that you noticed when you were coming up with, when you were looking at the multiples of 10s. What patterns did you notice? What were some things that stood out to you? So you're just going to go ahead, you're going to write down some ideas over here on the side. Then you're going to see slide 2 is an example. So slide 2 is an example, again, showing you what your job is. So you can see it is 3 times 10. There is a sunset. It's this blue guy right here. You click and you drag it over the correct answer. That's your way of letting me know which one is the correct answer. So for this one, it is 2 times 30. Whatever I think is the correct answer, I click and I drag the sun over the answer, and so on. So just keep that in mind while you are going through and completing this job. So you're just going to go ahead, you are going to complete the 3 slides for that, because slide number 2 is an example. And again, make sure that you not only highlight all the multiples of 10, click and drag it over, but you also go ahead and come up with 3 ideas for any patterns you may have noticed. And then finally, you have I Ready Math, 30 minutes. You're going to go ahead and click the I Ready symbol and go ahead and do some math and then clean up for the day. And yeah, so that's going to be it for your Monday. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you at Zoom. Bye, D1.